Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Good for the Soul. This is episode number 18. In this episode, I sat down with Shannon Higgason. Shannon is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a Gracie Barra Academy owner down in Renton, Washington. Him and I have known each other for a long time. He's been in the game forever. It's funny how the jiu-jitsu world connects you with people. So one of our mutual friends, AJ, back in the day when I was a sole proprietor, trying to figure out the construction maintenance industry, I needed a bookkeeper at the time. So AJ put me in touch with Sari, which is Shannon's wife, and they both train. We built that relationship and community and friendship, and we were able to continue training throughout the years at different times and see each other on the mats. So Shannon is awesome. He's owned a construction company for a long time, super cool guy, and now I think it was about 5 or 6 months ago at this point has opened his own academy. So that's been super cool to see. It's a beautiful facility. Anyone who gets to train with him is lucky. He's a great guy, great instructor, great professor, and yeah, it's been really cool to be able to sit down with him after being friends with him for multiple years. And I actually saw him get his black belt and compete at some of the local events in the Pacific Northwest over the years. And yeah, we're just friends, and it was really cool to sit down, share, be on the mats, talk jiu-jitsu, get his story, which was actually really powerful. It was one of those stories where you feel inspired once you're done listening to that, because you never know, it could be yourself or anyone in that situation, and kind of find jiu-jitsu, so hope you guys get something out of it, and thank you for hosting me and welcoming me into your gym to train and get some footage of you and your guys and your team, which is an awesome academy you've built. So I'm super excited to share this one with you guys, but before we jump into there, I just want to remind you guys to go to jockofuel.com, get yourself some supplements, protein shakes, all the good stuff that's gonna help you stay on the mats for longer, right? Jiu-jitsu can be a little hard on the joints. So my favorite thing is the joint warfare. I've been taking it for 6 years or however long they came out with it, right? And I noticed a difference, and so it's cool to me to have used their products for a long time before being able to partner with them in a sense now. So go to jockofuel.com, get yourself, again, those protein shakes, supplements, all the stuff you need to keep your body healthy and primed, ready to go for jiu-jitsu and life in general, right? On the Origin side, right, originusa.com, the gis, the rash guards, again, go there, get yourself 10% off using the code GOODFORTHESOUL, all one word at checkout. Again, jockofuel.com and originusa.com. Go check out their stuff. It's awesome, fully American made. And guys, without further ado, let's jump into episode number 18 of Good for the Soul with Shannon Higgason. Let me get this crack before we get started, dude. It's Friday night. Yeah. I appreciate you having me out here to train, my brother.
I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, dude, that was an awesome class. This is my first time stepping in your gym since you've opened it, 4 months ago?
4 months ago, October 1st, 2021.
Okay, yeah. Beautiful facility.
Thank you.
Dude, obviously coming from someone who's been in the trades for so long, I knew it was gonna be like that. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. This is so nice, man. So I'm excited for you to see this. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm actually excited that it turned out as well as it did, because I rushed this, man. It's like, luckily I'm a contractor who knows a little bit about construction, but no, I had to expedite this. I did all this work in a month and a half.
What?
Yeah, we got keys on mid-August, demoed, there was all kinds of stuff. We demoed a bunch of stuff, a lot of stuff had to be built. We had to build an additional room for the shower. Mm-hmm. We had to add a shower to the bathroom. Yeah. We had to build the girls' locker room, the cubbies. We built the desk. All these light bulbs, $3,000 just for light bulbs.
Wow.
Yeah. Put all these light bulbs in. There's 180 light bulbs in here.
Dude, I mean, just from my experience in the trades, which 10 years, but what I would compare to yours is minimal. I see this, and you say a month and a half. I'm like, how the hell did you get that done? I don't know, man. It's impressive.
Luckily, I have friends and some subcontractors that give me a deal.
Cool.
But yeah, no, I was in here a lot. Yeah, 16-hour days.
That's awesome. I'm excited to put out the freaking the B-roll footage of this gym for you, so that people can see how amazing this facility is, man.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Very grateful.
Awesome.
Yes, I love it.
Well, dude, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where did your love for jiu-jitsu come from?
Oh, depends how far back we go.
Man, where it started initially.
This is where it started, 100%. Back in the day when the UFC came out, right? Mm-hmm. People were like, oh, UFC, MMA, and stuff like that. I didn't even know jiu-jitsu was a thing in all the years I watched UFC. I used to watch Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, all those guys back in the early 2000s. I didn't know jiu-jitsu was a thing. I just thought like they're fighting and they do martial arts, it's MMA. And then I had I had a downtime, I had a dark time in my life. I don't know, a while ago.
Yeah.
And I remember having anxiety. I was drinking a lot. I quit drinking, and I was getting panic attacks, and I wouldn't even leave the house.
Wow.
And finally, somehow, my wife helped me. She got me to therapy.
Yeah.
So I met a therapist and learned cognitive behavior therapy, and he challenged me to do stuff eventually. Before you know it, we're talking about how I used to do Aikido years ago. Like, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, I tried it out again, and I'm doing Aikido for about 3 or 4 months, and I'm like, man, just something's missing. Something's missing. I was grateful that I was doing something active and doing something, like a martial art.
Yeah.
Especially after having the anxiety, depression, alcoholism, it's like something's missing. So I started Googling martial arts. I saw Muay Thai, I saw wrestling, I saw judo, I saw all that stuff, jiu-jitsu. And I saw this list of like viable martial arts from 1 to 10. And of course they have all their bias about it, but jiu-jitsu and judo and boxing were up there in the top. And I was like, okay, cool. So I started Googling locations. And then I found a judo gym down here in Renton.
Okay.
So I called the guy, and he told me his, credentials, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go try it out. And they had MMA there as well. And I was like, oh, 2 stop, 2 for 1. All right, so I did judo and MMA back to back every day for like 6 months straight at this gym. That's how it started. And then the jiu-jitsu part of it was more, like I did judo for a long time there, but the jiu-jitsu part of it was like what really, I was like, I like this. I like being on the ground. Cool. So then some of the guys that trained there were like, oh man, you should go here, you should go there, you should go there, you should go try this out. And I met a guy named Eddie, who was a black belt in judo there, who had trained at Ring Demon under Eric Dahlberg. And he came down to the judo club, met me, we're training, and he says, hey, man, if you want to come try jiu-jitsu, you should go to this guy. It's straight up jiu-jitsu, And he does MMA too, but like if you like jiu-jitsu, go train him. So I went and tried it out, and then I started with Eric Dahlberg. Obviously, you know who he is.
Yep.
So and the rest is history.
Cool.
I trained there for years, and then I moved, and then he moved. And so,
got further.
Yeah. So I switched schools, and I had a lot of technique from him, and a lot of,
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I'm gonna triple check that. Okay, it is recording. I have this fear of like, wait, is it on? Because there's no flashing red light on this one.
I know.
No, so I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So talk to me about you were describing how you got into it in a sense of like kind of that journey, but what was that draw to the mats for you? I mean, it sounded like it started originally with Aikido, but then even like you took some time off. Like, what was it about martial arts or jiu-jitsu or judo that drew you in? What was it about that?
Okay, so when I was in therapy, in my mind, when I first started therapy, I could not believe that I would ever be able to do much anymore. I thought I was dying. Like I had an anxiety disorder, coming off alcohol and the pills. I thought I was dying. I was small, frail, and then I remember watching videos and like kind of crying, saying to myself, man, I'll never be able to do that.
Yeah.
And my therapist says, no, there you go. That right there is you instilling that bad habit. If you say you can't do something, you won't.
Right.
So that's when he started challenging me. Now we're gonna go hike. Oh, we're gonna go run. And he would prove to me, by proving to myself, dude, you can do stuff.
Yeah.
You're totally fine, you're healthy. You can do this. And so then I walked through the doors of that judo club, and my heart was going. I'm going, trying not to throw up, and like I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, I can cuss.
And you did, totally.
Yeah.
And you didn't wrestle in high school, or
No.
did you have brothers you wrestled around with?
Nope, friends, big friends.
Okay.
Played sports, rollerblades, skateboard, bikes, football, baseball, played all the sports.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was very athletic growing up, and very familiar with, pain and been in fights when I was younger.
Yeah.
I got picked on a lot. Small kid, blonde hair, blue eyes, named Shannon. Got picked on a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, I never wrestled in high school.
Okay.
A lot of my buddies were like, "Oh, you should wrestle. You should wrestle." I was like, "I'm not wearing a singlet. Get
It's
that. I'm
like
not
the
doing
same
that."
reason why I did it.
Yeah, I don't have
I
a
can't
singlet.
do that. I want to be cool.
Yeah, I'm too cool for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, like, as you stepped on the mats for the first time, maybe your first 3 to 6 months, because again, with the goal of just trying to draw people into jiu-jitsu, so maybe someone who hasn't started yet, that outside perspective for them to understand what that first 3 months to 6 months as a white belt is like. What was it like for you? And then again, maybe jumping forward, you've been coaching for a long time, not just here, because you recently opened, but years of coaching as you progress through the belt system. What would you say that first 3 to 6 months in jiu-jitsu is like, and how to get people through that?
So first and foremost, the hardest part was walking through the doors. Once you're through the doors and you meet the people and you see the environment and what it's really all about, you will realize, oh, shit, this is great. This is awesome. I spent too much time and energy like questioning this. Don't question it, just go. If you absolutely hate it, you'll know it.
Yeah.
But give it 3 months. Give it 3 months. So don't just try the trial week and say, I think no. Give it 3 months. Go, make it happen, learn a habit. Like make it habitual. Like this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It saved my life. Yeah. And I would tell anybody that is having apprehensions about it, as far as maybe they have a social anxiety or maybe they feel insecure for whatever reason, like no one is going to judge you. Yeah. And if they are, it's the wrong school. But I doubt you're going to find that school, because I don't think I have been to a legitimate jiu-jitsu school that I have felt people are going to judge or criticize you or just use you as a punching bag.
That's a great point.
No, they're there to add value to you. Yeah.
Talk to me about your specific 3 to 6 months journey as a white belt in a new gym. What was that like for you, especially at the time?
The judo club, let me start there. All right, the MMA program was actually kind of bleh, no offense to the judo coach. The judo coach was amazing. He's actually world class. I'll touch on it a little bit. Ronda Rousey, her mom, Anne Marie, was taught by John Holm, my judo instructor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Anne Marie was a world champion under John Holmes.
Cool.
At University of Michigan.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great exposure for the first time. Cool.
Yep. So anyways, going back, the MMA guy was this dude who liked to throw hands. He was kind of a boxer. He did like 3 MMA fights, lost 2, won 1, I don't know. And he just wanted to have an MMA gym. And I don't want to talk bad, because he was, he was a tough guy and he knew how to fight and he was good, but he just wasn't ready for a gym.
Yeah. It happens. Yeah.
He meant well, he had great striking, but he would hire coaches to oversee like the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. And he meant well, but it wasn't for him. Yeah. So luckily I saw through that.
Cool.
I saw through that. And then, like I said, having the good judo coach, man, he taught me how to throw people. That was fun. Crash pads, throwing, uchimatas, everything. We did a lot of judo, 2 hours a night. And then I met people through there who got me into just jiu-jitsu, because I like the jiu-jitsu part of it. Because he would teach the judo, and then in judo they have jiu-jitsu curriculum, and we would work on the mat, and I was like, I like this part of it. So as a white belt, I did a lot of YouTubing.
Yep.
But then I found myself getting in trouble because I didn't know who to YouTube. I didn't know who to trust.
Yep.
And then I'm like YouTubing, and I'm like, hey babe, my wife, and like, can I try this and that? And it's not the same.
Of course.
Yeah.
As a coach now, when you see those white belts walk through the door, because you have an ocean of mats here, it's beautiful, and you have a lot of new students, which is so cool for me to see that people are excited about jiu-jitsu. What are some of the reasons that you're hearing that are drawing people into this sport?
Well, one of the things, it's compounding. It's pretty evident that it's more well known now than it was 5, 10, 15 years ago, even though it was introduced in the United States years and years ago. In the 90s, obviously, Gracie.
Right.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't want to like give credit to actors and actresses, but even they are doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, like, a lot of people don't even know one of the late, one of the late great actors. You know the guy in Fast and Furious. Gosh, what was his name? I forget. Wow, I'm totally brain farting. Anyways, he was a brown belt.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he died back in 2008. What was his name? God. He was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people didn't know that. Ed O'Neill.
Oh, okay.
From
I did not know that.
yeah, from Love and Marriage. Ed O'Neill. He's a black belt. He's a legit black belt,
Wow,
right? Yeah.
cool.
So, but now Michael Clark Duncan. He was a blue belt. A lot of actors and stuff are doing jiu-jitsu, and so maybe people see that, and I don't want to say that that's the reason it's blowing up,
right?
But people see that and they go, oh, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris is like a legit purple belt.
Yeah. I've heard he's awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess along the lines as well of like, maybe a story, like has anyone walked through the door that said, hey, here's why I want to start jiu-jitsu? Without using names or putting anyone on blast or whatever, but because then if someone's listening to this, they can say, wow, I have a similar story. Maybe I will also start. Like, is there anything that comes to mind initially when you hear someone walk through the door, why they start jiu-jitsu?
First and foremost, I do believe that because it is all over the internet and there's jiu-jitsu schools that, there's a lot of competitions now. You have the IBJJF. Locally, we've got a lot of competitions. Revolution, Proven Grounds. There's a lot of people in social media, people with friends are showing their experience. So then they see that, oh, they're doing this. I got to try it. So I have a lot of students that came to me and they're like, hey, my friend so-and-so does it. And I know them. Yep. Hey, my friend so-and-so, this person, that person, this
cool.
blah, blah, blah. So I do think word of mouth is strong.
Good.
However, we have had people come in that saw stuff on social media and they would say, hey, we want to try it. We want to try it. But the way, like I said, I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was, even though I watched the UFC for years.
Yeah.
I've heard the word jiu-jitsu, but I just didn't think of it. I just didn't like, and then I watched the video one day and I remember saying, oh, I'll never be able to do that, And I'm like,
and here you are.
Here I am.
I love
here
that, man. We know as we progress in jiu-jitsu, at times people start to fade off, right? The blue belt blues, it starts to happen. What is maybe the biggest reason over your years of training jiu-jitsu and as a coach now that you see that start to happen, and how can we help keep those people on the mats for longer?
So that is a hard one because people like to be rewarded. And if people rely on a belt to be rewarded, then jiu-jitsu is not going to be for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, jiu-jitsu requires work, a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the reward is the technique and the ability to be able to apply it, right? If you can tell a student from day one, do you want to be really good at jiu-jitsu? Yes. Do you want to have a good experience? Yes. Don't think about the belt. Do not think about that. I give stripes, I promote to give recognition when I see someone's ready for it. However, if they only come just for the belt, they're not going to stick around.
Yeah.
Because when you get a blue belt, and it took you that year, whatever, to get it, and then you go and think, man, 2 years till the purple belt, that deters people.
Yeah.
But if they do that, then they're not going to go. They're not going to get a purple belt. They have to interrupt that thought and think, no, I'm here for family. I'm here for brotherhood. I'm here to add value to others. I'm here because this is a very important part of my life that helps me build who I am outside of the gym too.
Yeah.
You can apply it in all aspects of life. And then don't think about being promoted. Think about the jiu-jitsu. Just think about making yourself better. Don't compare yourself to your peers. Don't say, oh, this guy's better than me. Oh, this guy's better than, just think about the jiu-jitsu and yourself being better than you were yesterday. How can I make myself better than I was yesterday?
Yeah.
And then before you know it, wow, I got a purple belt.
Yeah.
Wow, I want a gold medal. Oh, I lost. That's okay, I learned.
Yeah.
I go back. Maybe I want to go medal. Just, it's part of the journey. If you think of the end goal, no.
Yeah.
Then you're just wasting years. It takes 10 years of hard work to get a black belt.
Yeah.
And then not everybody can get it.
Right.
You know? However, but that's because they choose not to. If they apply themselves, if they don't think about the little rewards, you're gonna get better, and one day before you know it, you'll be a black belt with a gym.
Yeah. No, it happened to you. So, man, anyone can do it. It is inspiring because of what you've gone through. Man, I saw it tonight, and it was powerful because this is, again, a fairly new gym, but you've been in the game for a long time now. Post-training on a Friday night, you had so many people in here. So it was cool to see, at the beginning of class, you're saying, hey, like, thank you guys for being here. You're not going straight to the bars after work on a Friday. Like, you're here on the mats making yourselves better. What does the community aspect of jiu-jitsu mean to you as well as your students?
The community aspect. Well, first and foremost, when people choose jiu-jitsu over the bars, they know that they are going to get better. For instance, champions, they aren't at the bars. Nothing against going to bars. I have my fair share of drinking and stuff. But discipline. So discipline is the will to want to do something that you know you shouldn't be doing, and you don't do it. You do this instead, and you do it as if you love it, and you make no excuses.
Yeah.
Friday nights were some of my favorite nights because when I trained with Rodrigo and Carlos, Friday night we would go to class and we'd pull out the grill and the beer and we'd have barbecue. So we would bring the nightlife aspect to the gym.
Cool.
So there's like no excuse. And then you don't have to go and train hard and then roll hard. You can come do class and then eat some food, have a beer, or you can get some good rounds in because you're already there, especially if you're somebody who's trying to compete. And then after that, you've got your family, your friends. You get to have good conversation because you have like so many people, diverse people who do all kinds of things, and you can learn.
Yeah.
That's the thing about jiu-jitsu. It's not just about jiu-jitsu. It's about, learning people, learning about stuff that could help you and you can offer them, adding value to others, because 12, 13, 15 years ago, I was at the bar on Friday night, like pissing away my life. Yeah, it was fun in the moment, but I can't say I regret it because that adversity I went through is what got me here. So it was like meant to be. Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Trying to be, again, fully inclusive and encompassing, trying to get children, men, and women, and more importantly, into jiu-jitsu. When a woman walks through that door, do you ever tailor that conversation about how jiu-jitsu may work for her a little differently, or what do you do to get them more excited about jiu-jitsu if they're a little hesitant?
Well, I can't take credit for that because my wife is here too.
Yeah.
And she's a legit purple belt, and she's a very good person, and she's just full of love and knowledge. So I sick her on them. Okay. Of course, I introduce myself and I talk to them as well. Yeah. But I basically show them that this is not just a men's sport.
Cool.
If anything, it's more than a women's sport than a men's sport. I feel like.
Yeah.
Even though like only 5% of the jiu-jitsu population is women, which we're working on that. Last night we had 6 females out of 18 people on a Thursday night. That's 30%.
Wow.
It's good. Yeah, but so I can't really take credit for that. However, when I train with the females, I'm not there to prove anything. So I give them the energy that they need to get better.
Cool.
Okay. I don't want to, you don't want to frustrate them, and this goes for anybody who's still learning and new. But like for women, you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. You want to set an example that they are in a safe environment.
Love that.
And that I am here to teach them a self-defense and bring them into a family that makes them feel comfortable outside of just learning a self-defense. If you are a woman who's apprehensive about social environment or hands-on anything. I completely understand, but find a girlfriend, okay? Find a girlfriend to be your buddy, to help encourage each other.
Yeah.
Go together,
Cool.
okay? Even if one of them quits, at least you made that, at least you got through the door.
Yeah.
Okay, go together. And I promise you, don't be afraid of, the social atmosphere, because we're not here to pry at you and try to like talk your head off. We're gonna meet you where you're at, right? We're gonna meet you where you're at, and there's other females in the school.
Yes.
And they will come. They will see you. They will come with open arms, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And then, and it may take a little time, but like I said, give yourself that 3 months. That's my challenge to you. Like, 2 days is not enough. If you don't feel, if you walk in with a certain comfort level and you walk out with a less comfort level, I don't think that's a gym for you.
Yeah.
Try another gym, but chances are your comfort level is going to rise.
I hear No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Again, like I've known you, I think since I was a white belt.
Yeah.
Met through mutual friends. Shout out to AJ, the body mechanic.
Yeah.
He's the greatest. That's how we all met.
Love AJ. Good friend of mine.
Yeah, he's the best, man. So I'm glad he put us in touch at the time. And so, what inspired you to open your own gym?
It was on my bucket list.
Really?
Yeah.
At what point? When did that start?
3 years ago, I was a purple belt, competing a lot, doing pretty well. At that point, I was pretty well known in the community. Had a lot of connections, a lot of friends, and felt really good. Like that, I would go to a competition or something, and everyone knew me, and it was really humbling. So I knew, I was like, man, I love this. I like adding value to people. I like teaching. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I put it on my bucket list. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I built a bucket list. Especially one of my friends who was a mentor of mine was helping me with some business advice and life advice. And he's very experienced, kind of the similar road. He's a construction business owner, so am I, and musician, so am I. So, and he's older than me, he's in his 60s, but he said, hey, put together your bucket list, And I was like, oh, okay. So I did that. And jiu-jitsu school was one of my things. Cool. But then I get my black belt, and then I got approached. I got offered. So the owner of a couple other schools, Bellevue, part owner of Bellevue and the owner of Tacoma, was talking about opening this gym. And my name got put in a hat because he was looking for an instructor. Yeah. So my name got put in a hat, and the person who threw my name in the hat reached out to me, and then I reached out to the owner that was going to open the school, and I said, hey, let's talk. And he was like, yeah, let's talk.
Cool.
And then I'm part owner, of course, but I'm very grateful that he was able to bring me on. Cool. And I've learned a lot as far as the jiu-jitsu part, the jiu-jitsu business part of it, but this is going better than I anticipated. And I always set high hopes. I'm an optimistic person.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into something and just be like, oh man, this is going to be hard. No. Run a construction business for 14 years.
Yep. Yeah.
So I came into this, and it's going better than I thought. My goal was 300 students. I'm already at 148 in 4 months. So we're happy.
That's
it's happening.
Man.
Yeah.
I love
that. So my bucket list came faster than I even thought it would.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's wonderful,
Good
man. Now
opportunity.
you're gonna have to start a new one. What's next on that bucket list? So that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
Once you sit down and figure it out after the gym settles a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Again, so now that you have been coaching for 4 months in your own gym, what is something as a coach that you're seeing on the mats that you like? A positive thing about coaching?
I like seeing the fruits of my labor. In other words, when I show people technique and they execute it, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Because being a construction business owner, I have several employees beneath me. I started out by hiring a guy and teaching him a trade, then another guy and then teach him, and another guy and teach him. So I've always been, I kind of have a knack for teaching and being able to communicate with people. I practice leadership. This in here is different though, because 3 months, I have two students. I've had several students compete, but I had 2 students that both got gold medals in the last competition they did. Yeah, listening to me and doing the technique and trusting me. And that's a good feeling. And then, one of them had a hard day. He had a hard day. I don't even want to get too much in details, but let's just say that he had every reason to not compete, and he freaking did anyways. Cool. And he won. He smashed everybody, and there was some controversy at the finals match where it was a straight ankle lock situation. He had a straight ankle lock, and the guy tried to turn towards the reap to make him reap.
To make him do it.
But he didn't. He kept his back on the mat. He didn't turn with them. Cool. But the coach of the other opponent was like, hey, that was a reap, that was a reap. And not saying the coach was trying to intentionally call it out, but he just thought it was because he saw his student turning, so he assumed it was a reap, but we had the recording. And the official observed it and was like, yeah, that's not a reap. Cool. Yeah. And then, so we fought for that gold medal.
Yeah.
And my student was so happy, like tears of joy, tears of joy. His first gold medal, and he's an athlete. Like he's a very athletic, strong, played football in college, all that stuff. And he, to get a gold medal in 4 months, he's been doing jiu-jitsu, not even 4 months. He's here every day. Cool. He's put in the work, and that's the example that I can't just really set. I'm here to teach, but the real example is as a student, watching your peers train and win, and then treat you like an equal. That's huge.
Cool.
That's huge. Yeah.
Now, on the inverse of that, what is something you see on the mats that you don't like as a coach? Not maybe personally, but something that, hey, you need a nip in the bud, or again, in the inverse of positive. What is something negative on the mats for you?
Man, that's a hard one because I have never been to a class, or I've never been to a school where there wasn't some sort of controversy or discomfort or disagreement, I try to be observant of what's going on, and if I see something that I think is, I won't say inappropriate, but maybe some students are kind of deviating from what they should be doing, I will very constructively help them retrack. I'm guilty of it as a student. My brain is all over the place, so I'll be doing the technique, before you know it, I'll just try this too. Like, I wonder how that works with it as well. And then my professor comes over like, hey, Shannon, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, because they're watching you, you don't want to be doing the wrong technique. Like, I'm sorry. And that's just, not everybody's the same. Yeah. Some people can just stick to an idea. Some people deviate a little bit because they're just playing around. And some people get comfortable. And I will admit I've been comfortable, but my professor was able to draw me back to where I should be doing. Yeah. And then after class, he can let me play all I want. But I do see sometimes the students talking. They're just sitting there and they're just talking. And I'm not upset. Maybe they're taking a break. So I give it a little bit. I look away for a minute and then I look back. If they're still talking, then I'll just walk over and say, hey guys, if I completely understand, if you need a break, however, I just don't want people to get the impression that we're here to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I do it, nicely. And then they usually, before I even get 5 words out, they go, oh, Professor, I'm sorry. Yeah, we just got distracted. Yeah. And that's it. They just got distracted.
For sure.
They weren't being belligerent. They weren't, deliberately being delinquents. So you just got to reel them back in. And as long as you're nipped up in the butt lightly before it gets too bad, you're not going to have a problem.
Cool.
I've never had a class where there's 2 guys over here just like trying to kill each other.
Right.
That's good. But I've had sparring sessions where there's 2 guys trying to kill each other. But then I go, oh, what's his face? That's normal.
Right.
Or if it gets a little heated, I may walk over and be like, hey guys, save that for the competition. I like your enthusiasm, but let's take it back about 20%. Cool. Okay, no problem, Professor, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's all.
Cool. No, I dig that.
Yeah, that's all.
Let's get into some of the fun things about jiu-jitsu, because we've talked about the beginnings, but where you're at now, what is your game in jiu-jitsu and why is it your game?
My game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, okay. Depends. No gi, I like leg locks. I do a lot of leg locks.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like no gi. It's very important to do a no gi as well as gi. I believe your best grappling competitors, they do both. They do gi and no gi. Because no gi is a different, it brings some more elements to the game, like, the movement, switching positions, because you don't have the handles to rely on, so there's more wrestling. Also leg locks, a lot of no gi guys like leg locks, and it's half the body, and I like to do leg locks. So I've trained with a lot of guys, like, at Dahlberg, Nate Orchard, and they do leg locks. So I'm really grateful that I have that as well. Let's see here. My game, I do love the gi, of course, and I like to compete in the gi. Mm-hmm. So I like to stay on top if I can get on top. I get the side control, and I like to be able to do key lock or maybe arm bar. Mm-hmm. Half guard, I love half guard.
Okay.
When I pull guard and I get the half guard, I like to play the half guard game. I'm pretty good at the single leg, and I like to play that. Also my X guard, I'm really good at X guard. Cool. So if I can get that hook in and I can elevate you and get the X guard, then it's a lot of fun, because that's also options to get the legs too. Cool. Yeah. I dig that. Yeah. And then of course in the gi, I like it because I can get sweeps and come up with it, and then of course get on top. But yeah, no, I feel like I'm a fairly balanced grappler, I'm not just a one-trick pony. Yeah. Nothing against those guys. I've been beat by them. Sure. Hats off to guys who are really, really good at taking you down, passing your guard, and like getting to the guillotine or something. Hats off to them, because it's hard to deal with somebody who's, let's call it, master of one. Not a jack of all trades, but a master of one. Mm-hmm. For me, I do like that I'm pretty comfortable everywhere, man. Cool. I'm very defensive. I spend a lot of time being smashed by good, strong people. I'm very defensive.
Well, that leads to the next thing I'm gonna poke at and pry into is what is the style or type of person that you have the most trouble with, maybe one hole in your game that you recognize?
Wrestlers.
Yeah.
A good wrestler who does the cross-face, underhook, sprawls, front headlock position. They just can switch positions. They're just a step ahead. They're the most frustrating, Mm-hmm. I'll call that my weak point. Also, my neck, I can get choked easy. Yeah. I might run into you in competition. If you see this video, then I get choked easy, but I'm really good at preventing it. Mm-hmm. Because I get choked so easy. I don't want to say I have much trouble with guys who do leg stuff, but against a good leg locker, I have a hard time submitting them. So it's a lot of get choked easy, wrestling type. That's the biggest problem for me. Yeah. But I will say that my style makes it really hard for them to be able to get to a real advantageous position on me. But gotcha. We get stuck in this, like I'm half guard, or I'm in guard, or I'm open guard, and they just move in. And if they do pass my guard, it's rough. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty good at weaseling my way out of situations. Yeah.
If you had to pick one submission that you enjoy doing most, or that you enjoy watching the most in jiu-jitsu, flow grappling, super popular, right? What is something that you like?
Oh man, for me it's leg locks. The knee bar, toe holds, very good at those. I like those. I'll dive on those, especially if I get the feeling that they're not really savvy with the legs. I'll go for those. I'll just go for the kill. Yeah. I have a good straight ankle lock too. I actually did a seminar with Dean Lister. He showed me.
Oh yeah, Dean Lister.
He showed me the guillotine, and once I did that, I was like, my straight ankle lock went. Phew. The arm bar too. I'm pretty good at the arm bar. I like the arm bar. It's a very good feeling when you're able to like establish dominance on somebody, mm-hmm. take their soul and get to a position where you can 100% get to the arm bar and finish it, and they just got no outs. Like that's a pretty dominating feeling.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. You've been doing jiu-jitsu obviously for a long time now. When was the last time something clicked for you, and what was it?
Oh man, all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one thing that where do I start? Let me think about recently. One thing that clicked for me recently is not get all wrapped up in trying to be one-dimensional. When you're rolling, feel them out. Feel them out, be open, play open guard, start in bad positions, work something different, learn some stuff. Because if you only put yourself in your comfort zone, you're not gonna learn. You gotta get uncomfortable. Yeah. You got to get out of your comfort. You got to step out of your comfort zone. You have to put yourself out and be, all right, guys, here I am. You know, because if you only stick to what you know, you're not going to be able to. You're only going to learn to do something that works against people who can't stop that trick.
Yeah.
If I have a good half guard game where I can go to the single leg, but somebody is really good at crossface underhook sprawling, they shut me down. Then I have to switch to my butterfly X guard game. Then that gives them trouble, you know?
Yeah.
So practice everywhere. Find your strengths, build on them, but don't just stay in your comfort zone.
Gotcha.
Besides, it's fun to get out of your comfort zone, especially in a safe environment, and play around some stuff. You may find some new stuff to work with, you know? And ultimately, I feel like as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, you should have a decent guard, decent sweeps, a go-to takedown. You should be able to work with the back, mount, all of that, you know? Even though one areas you're stronger than the other, you still have to touch on it because you have to know for when it happens to you, oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I take that. If you could change one thing about jiu-jitsu itself, or maybe the culture surrounding jiu-jitsu, what would it be?
Change.
Yeah.
Something about jiu-jitsu?
Something about jiu-jitsu. If you were king for a day, you could change something about jiu-jitsu. What would it be?
Oh man. That question threw me way under the bus. I'm getting trampled right now.
No, you're good. Take a moment.
Change something about jiu-jitsu.
And nothing is also an okay answer, but because I always find it fascinating hearing different people's perspectives of maybe it's something you don't like here, or it is a positive, or change could also be do more of something because it's such a positive thing.
All right, I will say this. I'll come out and say it. All right. Maybe not change something, but change something that people do in their gyms.
Okay.
When I go to a jiu-jitsu class and it's an hour long and they do a 20-minute warm-up, I feel like I'm at CrossFit. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I am understanding of warming up before you're going to go ape shit crazy in a competition. I do believe in warming up the body, getting the muscles ready. However, when you're going to warm up just to practice and drill technique, you're not going crazy. You know how hard it is to obtain information when you're exhausted, tired? And if you're somebody new and you're coming in and you're just killing them with warm-ups and then they're tired, like you're gonna turn them off. They're not gonna wanna do jiu-jitsu. You need to keep the warm-up minimal and keep it constructive. You know, I have them do shrimps and double legs and stuff that they kind of do with
It was an
class.
appropriate warm-up.
Yeah. And I'll switch
definitely.
it up, you know, sometimes like, all right guys, we're gonna do 4 rolls and this. And like, all right guys, we're gonna do triangles and bridges and stuff. But when you have an hour long and you kill someone with 20 minutes of warm up, that's like they're a CrossFit class. They might as well just go there. So it's a jiu-jitsu school. I wanna teach them jiu-jitsu. I wanna teach them technique. And I warm them up enough, you know, to get them ready to do technique. And then they're gonna get warmed up in technique. And then they do, you know, 50 minutes of technique. And then they're warmed up enough to live spar.
Cool.
I
like this one.
Yeah,
I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
That's
So, and I don't remember the last time that I had somebody go, oh, I just ripped a muscle because I wasn't warm. I don't know. You know, I can't remember. Injuries happen occasionally, accidentally, but that can happen anytime. You know, so the warm up I feel like is filler material at some schools, and I hope I don't get like hated for this or banished.
I think it's a great point because we've both been to those schools. We're like, oh wow, we just did a
20 minutes of warm up,
20-minute warm up,
and then 20 minutes of technique.
And none of those movements were even related to jiu-jitsu. Like,
Right.
I get it sometimes if you do a little much, but at least the movements are related to jiu-jitsu. And I think you did a well-balanced warm up today with. I got some great footage of your doubles, your shrimps, and
Yep.
the appropriate amount of time to go into your technique. So no, that's a great one.
And I do switch it up. You know, sometimes we have a Gracie Barra warm up. We do jumping jacks, squats, push-ups. You know, then we do triangles, bridges, and stuff like
Yep.
that. And it's about 7 minutes or so. So But sometimes we do warm-ups and it's all of the everything, and then 3 shrimps and double legs. It's like 20 minutes of killer. And like, if you're getting ready for a competition, maybe to help with the cardio, but yeah, that's one thing I would change.
I like that one a lot, man. You and I are on the same page.
Sorry to the gyms that do the crazy warm-ups, but it's not CrossFit,
just
man.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. And that also brings up something that heads down a great track, I think, is, from your opinion, what makes a successful jiu-jitsu gym?
What makes a successful jiu-jitsu gym?
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. If you have a vision, okay, that people can respect and buy into, and they can relate to that, those people are going to stick with you. If people cannot buy into your vision, they don't respect it, they're going to leave. That just doesn't mean jiu-jitsu is not for them. It just means that maybe that is not your student.
Right.
Okay? It's like a relationship. You can have, a date with this girl and that girl and that girl, and you may not click with any of them. Doesn't mean that they're bad or you're bad. It's just not for you.
Right.
Then you have someone you click with. But you have to have a vision. You have to have something that inspires people. Because as an educator, you're also a leader. And if people do not buy into what you have to offer, if they don't respect you, they're not going to stick around. So to have a successful jiu-jitsu gym, you don't need to be a world champion, right? You don't need to have world champions. You may produce some. However, you have to have something to offer that is showing and proving to your students that it's adding value to them, because ultimately they're paying you for that.
Yeah.
So I cannot change myself for others, and I can't change others for myself.
Right.
So I educate myself so that I can add value to others, so that I can be a reputable person, so that I can communicate with you. I got to meet them where they're at sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the adjustments I make. I'm not changing myself. I just know how to meet them where they're at, to make people feel comfortable, to learn how they think so that I can help teach them. So, but you cannot convince people to stick around with words like a salesman. That ain't gonna work. The proof is in the example.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you're gonna be critical to people, you're gonna scare them off. You're gonna hurt their feelings. They're not gonna stick around, even if they're capable. If you're somebody who is like, very, very judgmental and very derogatory, not gonna work.
Cool.
You gotta be able to balance the constructive criticism with the optimism and with the realism. So a successful jiu-jitsu gym is just being a good leader and building leaders and learning from your students and respecting them the way they respect you.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's a great answer. And I love hearing that. And that's why these sit downs are powerful to me, to spread that knowledge and information so that people can hopefully use this as reminders of, hey, we can all do better in every facet of life, Every facet. That's a perfect example. Didn't mean to cut you off, but let me tell you this. Somebody comes into my school. Oh, I'm a black belt jiu-jitsu instructor. You're a white belt. You should respect me. No, you don't know that person outside the school. As I get to know my students, you are amazed at what they are. Doctors, lawyers, football players, like all kinds of people, So just because they're in the jiu-jitsu school and they call you professor and they do respect you, does not mean you cannot respect them either. Yeah.
Because, man, you don't know what they're capable of and what they have. Because I have all of those. It's great.
Yeah.
And I love that, because that's part of the family, the village, that builds that, it has that diversity, that builds that. I have pilots I can go fly with, and like, man, that's great, And
I love it, man. The diversity I saw on the mats tonight was incredibly inspiring, and I was super grateful to see firsthand, because it was awesome. All races, religions, male, female, like it was awesome, man.
Yeah, none of that negative stuff is in here. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Like, leave social media, leave the negativity. Like, if you walk through that door, we're at common ground, man.
Yes.
We have common ground that we go 100% at,
Yeah,
man.
it's beautiful.
Yes, you need it.
Now, talking about outside those doors over there, again, circling back to trying to bring people in jiu-jitsu who may not really fully understand it yet, what are some of those benefits of jiu-jitsu that affect you outside those doors?
Oh, man. First and foremost, it's a great feeling knowing that I can defend myself. You know, I have nothing to prove. I'm out there and there's people walking around, like, I know that I can defend myself. That in itself is a confidence, that instills a confidence in me that helps me be in a better mood. You know, people who are insecure are afraid out there. They're afraid. They're not just afraid of physical altercations. They're afraid of like verbal altercations, just talking with somebody.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu, when you're in here, you learn to talk to people. The diversity. You're talking to all kinds of people. It makes you more comfortable to be able to talk to people out there. Also, I don't want to say that jiu-jitsu is the end-all, be-all self-defense to where if someone attacks you, you can say, all right, let's go. I know jiu-jitsu. Because you don't know who has a gun. You don't know who has a knife. Somebody could be 300 pounds of solid muscle, and if you're 140 pounds and you're a 2-stripe white belt, I would recommend you run very far, very fast.
Yep.
But in time, in here will help your life out there.
Yeah.
And I just wish that the people out there who are afraid of coming in here, I could just take my brain, put it in their head for one day, then they would come in here.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah. It's great that there's always that classic. Once someone starts, I wish I would have started sooner.
But don't let that regret hurt you, because at least you started.
Yeah.
Because we've all seen, I started at 31 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, we've all seen people who were in their 60s just starting.
Yep.
And then they get a black belt on the podium at Masters Worlds, and it's the greatest thing watching a lady and they're 69 years old crying getting her black belt.
That's like beautiful.
That moment right there was a pinnacle of her life. Why would she prevent herself that opportunity by saying, "Oh, I'm too old to get started"?
Yeah.
Nah, you're never too old to get started.
Absolutely, man.
I have
want to sit down with her one day. I saw that.
Oh yeah,
that's inspiring. That's so cool.
That would
so
be great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, finally, like we've been talking jiu-jitsu, but outside of jiu-jitsu, what do you specifically do that's good for the soul?
Oh man. First and foremost, my family. I have a wife and kid, and I cherish them unconditionally. I have a 6-year-old son. He's a really good kid, and I'm very grateful.
He's gotten big since the last time I saw him. That's cool.
And he also does jiu-jitsu, of course. But we definitely try to educate him by setting an example and making him part of the village.
Cool.
You know, I have a lot of good friends that also have children, and we get together, and that to me is huge. And of course, I teach their kids jiu-jitsu. They're here Monday and Wednesdays and Saturdays.
But yeah, off the mats. What is a thing? You know, family super important too. That's great. What do you do for maybe yourself? That's yours outside of jiu-jitsu.
I think about my future and how I can set myself up to be comfortable. I don't want to get too comfortable, of course, because I do like having a little bit of chaos and having a little bit of adversity that keeps me strong, that keeps me humble, and that keeps me open-minded. But I run a construction company, so there's that. I've grown it to be pretty self-sufficient, and it helped to build this, and I'm gonna build a couple more schools, and I wanna give some instructors an opportunity to have their own school.
Yeah.
You know, like there's guys who are good jiu-jitsu instructors, black belts, but they don't have, money, or, they're young, they don't have much, education, but they can teach really good jiu-jitsu. So I want to offer them opportunity, open a school and let them teach there and pay them a good salary, or maybe even have them be a partner, and That's one of my goals. Add value to people.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like giving back to other people
Yep.
is something for you that's good for the soul. That's really cool to hear, man.
Yep. And then of course I like to play video games sometimes. I like to get together with my buddies and watch the fights, you know. And I've got my son, we bought him an electric dirt bike. I've got a lot of friends that dirt bike and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, most of my life is jiu-jitsu.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And to me, that's why I bring it up too, because I know for us, jiu-jitsu is good for the soul, but there's always something there. So I love that, man. Giving back is super important in many facets of life. So it's cool to hear that that's something you're doing and wanting to do more of. So that's great. Dude, I really appreciate your time for letting me come out here, take class from you, and train with you guys.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful facility, and I appreciate you sitting down with me, taking time out of your Friday night to talk with me, man.
Man, I'd rather be here than anywhere else right now.
Yeah.
No, this is absolutely amazing. I love what you're doing. You're going to add a lot of value to people.
Thank you, man.
And I'm excited to be a part of your journey as I've been thus far. You know,
Yes, sir.
since you were a
Yes,
white
sir.
belt, now you're a brown belt. You know?
Crazy.
Man, no, this is really good.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for you.
Any final words?
Final words.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Find a jiu-jitsu school near you. Walk in the doors, and try it. Try 3 or 4 schools. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, find which one that you feel most comfortable at, and go. Sign up. Do 3 months. Don't even think about it.
Cool.
Okay.
Shannon,
Thank you, brother.
Professor, thank you so
Yeah,
much. I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, if you've made it this far along, finished the interview, I just want to thank you again for supporting me along this journey, and hopefully you got something awesome out of that interview. I really enjoy doing these, learning so much about life, jiu-jitsu, and everyone has such a unique and interesting perspective. So I hope you got something out of that that you can take with you. And one last reminder, for 10% off on any Jocko Fuel products or Origin USA products, go to jockofuel.com or originusa.com. Support yourself by getting some awesome products, supplements, protein shakes, greens, all that good stuff. It helps support me along this journey, and again, supports yourself and an American-made company. So yeah, jockofuel.com. Check it out, guys. Thank you very much.